Hello and welcome to the show. We are back at the Bajarama circuit with an interesting crossover to start today. This is the Sunstrip. Now you may recognise it from Street Legal Racing Redline, and it is going to be taken around our circuit here until it can drive no more. I have gone with a slightly faster version of the car, turbocharged engine. It is also all-wheel drive, which should probably come in quite handy around this circuit. Survivability? I don't really know. I don't really know what the strength of this car is going to be like. The speed is hopefully going to be good. The speed is hopefully going to be enough to get it out of the worst situations. Things like radiator springs, for example. We should be fast enough to clear. I say easily, maybe not quite as easily as like the drag cars, but we should be able to get across them. Although that is working on the assumption that the car is going to be in good condition. Of course, when the vehicle starts taking damage, it's anyone's guess just how much speed we will be able to take. Good start, a good first leap there, a nice clean landing for the Sunstrip. Oh, not quite, still a nice clean landing, not quite as far up there as I would have liked to have seen. However, we were across. The bodywork is starting to come loose. However, that is not too bad. We can lose as much of the bodywork as we like. Ideally, we'd keep the front in one piece, because that can often be useful for cushioning the blows away from the radiator. Having said that, well, there goes the front bumper, and the intercooler radiator all very exposed there at the front. Let's get this back under control before we go soaring off into the scenery. Up towards radiator springs we go, with a little bit of a wheelie, a little bit of a bounce. Oh! Well, there goes another bit of the bodywork. The side skirt, rear bumper, and front bumper are all gone. However, importantly, radiator's still in one piece, and actually, car's driving very well. It's not even pulling any direction, which is nice indeed as we head across this next pair of jumps on the brakes. Now, the motocross section is where this kind of car can come undone, I imagine, because we're probably going to be throwing and tipped and rolled. And there does go the radiator. This will probably overheat relatively fast. High-powered turbocharged cars do tend to, although I think we've also got some significant suspension damage at the rear. Yeah, it's not quite fast enough, unfortunately, to clear those jumps nicely. Can we? Or it might be quick enough. It's whether we have the suspension now to do this. Oh, come on, car, keep going. Oh no. Can't get the trebles down there. We're going to tumble, and hey, we've got flappy bits everywhere, but we are still working. We've got a giant air brake going on at the back. Oh, okay, I'll bring it up to a second a little bit too soon. Oh, air brake's gone. Roof's put itself back together again, just about. Oh, yeah, we got bouncy going on with the rear suspension, as that's been battered around this course a little bit. No, don't tip downwards. Oh. Yeah, as per usual, really, with this series, once you start taking suspension damage, you get in all sorts of trouble. I think we've actually managed to twist the chassis, because the front left wheel is coming up through some of these corners in a peculiar manner. I think, yeah, between suspension damage and perhaps chassis damage, it's not great, but it is still going, the Sunstrip. It is still going pretty damn well. The downside with this turbocharged engine is tailgate lag is tremendous if we're in the wrong gear, and that tends to mean we have to rev it quite high, which is okay when the car is working perfectly well, but when it doesn't have a radiator, oh no, big oversteer indeed. Thankfully, we lost so much speed from the oversteer that we landed kind of the crest before the end of the jump, so we still were okay. Can we clear? Oh, almost can clear up there this time around. Radiator springs, I was going to say it should be the tough part. I mean, that's the most notorious car-killing part of this series, of this course. However, we've taken damage, but I'm not sure we've taken anything that would really slow us down on the approach to radiator springs. Yeah, I mean, the steering is not quite perfect anymore, but it's not terrible. As we bounce our way up here, come on, rear suspension, sort yourself out. There we go, with a little bit of a bounce. Oh, twisted a little bit across. However, we are down the other side, no problem whatsoever. We're going to go for a slide through the hairpin. Oh, have to go for first gear there, trying to get us out the other side. Temperature is creeping up. We might make it just about onto the start of our third lap, but I'm not sure a huge amount more than that. Oh, we're going to fly... Whoa! We're going to fly very arse down across there. That's not normal. Oh, managed to stall the car. It's my bad for messing about with gears. I think now we've managed to bend one of the front wheels slightly. Oh, come on, car. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. And now we're all out of sequence. Now it's going to... Actually, it's not too bad. The front does a remarkably good job of cushioning the blow down here. I mean, it does get... Oh, no, that time it's got fired. Whoa! That time got fired very arse down. However, on the most of those, it was landing on the front, but it actually wasn't landing too badly. Come on. No, we can't do that. Oh, that suspension is not going to allow it. It can't land neat enough to really go for it. It might have the speed to do it. I think it does have the speed to do it, but the suspension just can't land the car well enough to get away with it. Now we've got some rear wheel issues. That's not ideal angle to have the car at. It's admittedly not the worst we've had the rear wheels do, and it's not snapped it off completely, neither is it flapping uselessly and sort of trying to pull the car around in wonky directions. So it's there are positives to be had, kind of very much like the 200BX in some ways, the way that bent its wheels up. Bends them rather than snaps them. Much easier for me, certainly for the car's survival, although now it's bouncing around horribly. That might not end so well for the other wheels. And, surprisingly, everything is still on, and we are going to make it. I mean, the temperature I did see go orange, but it's come back down again. We are on to our third lap. I think in the roll, I was off throttle for a little while. Now it's going back up again. Yeah, when it rolled over, I was off the throttle for a little while, and that gave it obviously enough time to cool this crazy turbo engine down slightly. It's not going to be enough to keep it going forever, but it's kept it alive a little longer. Still driving relatively well, this car. Now the cooler's starting to overheat. Right, we can make it across here. Come on, car. Use that speed. Use that speed. Oh, we got some oversteer again on the way up there. These wheels are doing a good job on the Sunstrip. They really are. I was expecting something to snap off long before, because some of these landings have been quite like that, for example. It's quite twisted, but aside from that one bent rear wheel, the rest of them are on in very, very sturdy fashion. Not sure we're going to make a fourth lap. I think it'll overheat before the end of this lap. I'm not sure what we might see or what else would go in it. I imagine the wheels could eventually snap off or cause it enough of an issue. I mean, we might have now too much in the way of issues to get over radiator springs. We will have to wait and see. The thing that we're having now is just random oversteer with the car, especially as we're coming up to the crest of a jump. Oh, we now got the other side, is even more buckled. Yeah, random oversteer, like so, is not particularly conducive for getting a good line across these jumps. Come on, Sunstrip, make it across radiator springs. Oh, that's not so good. Okay, we got away with it somehow. No idea how we got away with that one. I was already thinking that might be a heavy impact. I guess we just sort of glancing blow at the front sort of, pinged off the very, very front end of the car and launched it across onto the landing rather than sort of face planting it into that landing zone. Oil's overheating, piston rings are gone, head gasket's gone. I'm struggling to drive my car now with those rear wheels as buckled as they are. Still going though. It has made a hell of a job of this. Oh dear. That's big problems for that rear wheel now. It landed on the wheel, bending it over even more, but it has taken a lot of impacts to do that. It's taken an awful lot of impacts to do that. The engine is now quite sickly, as we can imagine. I don't actually know if we could... We have died, and that would be through overheating. I don't know if we had got that going again. We were having some steering problems, so I don't know whether we would... whether we actually would have got much further, considering the state of the wheels. Overheating would, though, eventually kill the Sunstrip. Good showing, though. Good showing indeed from this car to make it so far around on its third lap. The engine lasted a lot longer with that radiator gone than I was expecting it to, and the wheels are incredibly tough. If it stayed on like that before snapping off, that is some incredibly, incredibly strong wheels. Our next vehicle is called the Demon. It is a 200BX that has been vastly modified. While it doesn't quite have the 1,000 horsepower, it does have 600, which is quite a lot going to the rear wheels on a brutal dirt track. Now, I've also got this as a restyled 200BX. It gives it a notchback rather than the sort of hatchback, coupe, whatever you want to call the standard one, which is quite an interesting looking car. We've also got pop-up headlights that are probably going to last one jump. No front bumper, so the radiator probably will last one jump. Admittedly, there is kind of a cage around there, but I'm not sure it's going to protect much in there. Well, intercooler and radiator at the front there. We do have a mighty wing at the back, and mighty wing is always a good thing to have on a vehicle. Might well only last one jump. We shall see how it goes. Now, this 600 horsepower is, yeah, quite keen to come out of the back of the car. It is very, very oversteery, is this vehicle. So, one of the real things we're going to have to deal with, we're going to have to kind of try and manage, is the horrendous amount of sidewaysness that the Demon is going to want to be doing. If we can get things right, yes, there is a horrendous amount of power, but we've got to try and get things right. Of course, if we're in the wrong gear at the wrong time, the turbo lag is tremendous, or even if we're trying to find a good way of doing things, it can still be tremendous turbo lag. It's just, yeah, it's not going to be particularly easy in many ways to drive this car. That's a new approach to the jumps. We'll just take them sideways. I'm not sure that's going to be good for whichever side wheels we land on somehow. I feel like that's asking for trouble. Although we have made it more than one jump and things haven't broken yet, which is a positive. You know, at the end of the day, can't complain too much about that one. Oh, we're going to be very, very sideways down here. We're going to be a bit too sideways. Oh, we recovered that. Now you see, now we're flat out in second, turbo's nothing, and then all of a sudden it wants to escape immediately out of the back of the car. Makes it quite difficult to deal with, and bounce across there. Don't really know much about the suspension. I'm imagining it's sort of racing suspension, could be drift sort of suspension. Might be why we're having so many issues with the oversteer. Probably not going to, I say probably not going to be up to much. The 200BX drift car actually did very, very well around his sort of proper drift car. Did very, very well indeed. Come on, launch across radiator springs. We can go across there. Oh! Uh-oh, we've got issues with the mighty wing. It's come loose. It's not fallen off, but that is not an issue that I foresaw. The mighty wing is now flapping in the breeze. Not ideal. We'll go for another spin as well. It was intentional, I'll claim. Okay, well, I don't know what that's going to do with the aerodynamics of the car. Probably nothing particularly good. However, the radiator's still in one piece, suspension's still in one piece, although the motocross section, that's not going to be kind to an oversteery, oopsie-daisy, an oversteery oopsie-daisy car. Yeah, I think that will work. We've recovered it again, and we're pointing in the right direction. There is going to really be no question about taking these jumps. It's going to be a case of it's just going to go across here however it pleases, and might be okay. Oh, okay, we've got, this is a slightly weird texture bug going on with the boot lid. Let's not worry about that too much. It's momentary camouflage, that's what it is. Oh, the bonnet's coming up as well. The pop-up headlights are still fine, and we're going to go for another spin. All of this spinning and booting it would not be good for the car if the radiator was gone. Thankfully, the radiator is still here and still keeping the car cool. I have no doubt if this thing, when the radiator goes, oh, there goes the rear window. Yeah, when the radiator goes, this thing will overheat very quickly, I would imagine. Uh-oh, come on, there we go. Look at that, managed to get it back onto its wheels and everything. I am amazed, actually, that the radiator is still alive at the front there, because there is not much protection. In fact, there's no protection for it. The reason why the Caldera Daytona did so well is that the nose cone was taking all of the damage, and the radiator could survive. It's, yeah, never got, well, it got affected towards the end, but oh, that's a big hit on the front of the, really, the big hit is fine, but it's the roll and scrape down the road that kills the radiator. Sure, we've got a pop-up headlight still alive. I think the mighty wing is actually still attached to the car, amazingly. Yes, it is, well, just about is attached back there. Well, the bonnet's now blocking any visibility for the driver. Good thing we're back here then, watching the shenanigans unfold. I think the suspension is starting to collapse around the place. Yeah, now the wheels are also starting to buckle and bend in awkward ways. I don't know where we're going over here. I didn't want to head in this direction. The car has just decided that we're going over there, assisted with a huge amount of oversteer. Come on. Oh, for God's sake. There cannot be much power used in this now. It was bad to begin with, but as it's got more and more broken, it's even more difficult to put this power down. A lot of damage to the rear left. The rear right is fine. I mean, the actual suspension itself is a little collapsed. A lot of damage to that rear left corner. Don't know why in particular that side. We're not going to be able to put much power down coming up here at all, are we? Nope, we're just going to go and vacate the track. There's just nothing you can do. No power can be put down there. We're going to go around again, aren't we? And around. Come on, car. This should be called the ballerina, not the demon. Look at it go. It just wants to spin. And this way. No, bad car. Stop trying. It's ridiculous. Quite entertaining, but ridiculous. Oh, not again. Oh, that's going to break something doing that. No, the wing! The wing's come off. Oh, the most important of bits has now vacated the car. Oh, we've got big damage to that front right side. That's not good. That's not good. The already awkward to control car is now not really steering very well to the right. I mean, it just means we're going to be slow through the corners. It might actually help us in some respects. Oh, got to be a little bit slower in places. That's going to smack stuff up, isn't it? We're going to go for a really big roll now. That's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, back up. We're going to roll the car over. Come back over, and down. Oh, both front wheels now are pointing at awkward angles. They might cancel each other out. Here's hoping. The exhaust is wobbling. Suspension's poorly. Suspension's very poorly. Steering's very, very poorly. We're going to have real issues, I think, with radiator springs. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get across radiator springs. We're going to give it a try. We're going to give it a try. If we find some traction and we have just about enough control in the steering, we can kind of point it in a straight line and hope. Oh, okay, we got across. We did make it, but we're going to take some damage on the way down. Ooh, is my chassis buckled? Slightly, I think, or it could just be suspension damage means that we've now got uneven ride heights in the various corners of the car. Oh god, there's really little control now in this. Come on, we can make it towards the next punishing jump. It is going to overheat probably quite quickly if something else doesn't kill it beforehand, or which at the rate we're going is looking more and more likely. It's crashing so much that the engine is actually having moments to cool down. Okay, both rear quarters are now looking decidedly cambered and broken. We've got lots of positive camber at the rear. We've got toe in at the front. I think we've got some. Yeah, we've got negative camber at the rear, positive camber at the front, some toe in at the front, kind of some toe out at the back. So it's all of the wonky geometry is going on in this car. The engine still hasn't died yet. Oh, come on. Get it just about pointing in the goodish direction. We are now going so slowly, we have so little control that the oversteer is slightly less of a problem because I'm just not able to get up the speed. I'm not able to put the power down because of everything broken. Now the coolant is starting to overheat. Come on, land that one nicely. Come on, ballerina. We can make it over this next jump. We're losing steering, I think. Or maybe it was just the... oh, we might be losing steering. Oh, that front left corner. Front left doesn't look particularly... Oh, the front left's been splayed outwards. It was pointing inwards. It's now not anymore. Curious. I wonder which jump or what landing did that more than what jump. Again, yeah, coolant is overheating. I do fear for the driveline, the way that we are now ending up across these jumps. That is something that we could well see snapped in the car. We're going to have to go down to first, I think, try and get this round. We could actually beach it as well. It's now riding very, very low indeed. Coolant's back to overheating again. The front wheels are back to floundering around. This is going to be on to its third lap now, I think, which is, again, you know, it's from the... Oh, crap, from the early start, I wasn't sure we were going to make it this far. I thought we were going to have one big impact, and that was going to be it. However, Demon is still going. We're still going. We're going quite slowly. Oh, bugger. We're going to go around again, aren't we? We're going to go play in the bushes. Come on, car. No, don't stall. Don't stall. If we stall now, I'm not sure we're going to get you going again. Nope. We're going to go do some pirouettes. Oh, there is a direction we want to be heading in down here. Surely this engine's got to have to give out sooner rather than later. If the rest of the car isn't going to give out, I think the engine is going to finally give up after all of this punishment. I am amazed that this is still driving, astounded that this is still even vaguely moving. It was able to make good speed as well. It's not just full-on limping around. It is still making half-decent speed. I say half-decent speed. It's, you know, still at least going about as quick as the Pigeon was. So, you know, that's something. Oh, we're really struggling now. I don't know if this is going to work anymore. That front wheel, that angle that front wheel is at, I don't think we're going to have any steering left. Come on, car. Come on, car. We can do this. Oh, this, yeah, that's really looking decidedly dodgy at the front. I mean, the head gasket has gone. I think we have maybe it's still just about got enough. You know, it's still just about got enough. Now, this is where the immense power does come in handy, because as long as we can get it to start turning a little bit, we can steer it with the rear of the car, ever so slightly. It's still limping on around the circuit. Oh, if you can make it across radiator, or make it up to Radiator Springs, I think that is where the 200BX drift car died. So if we can make it further than that, I would be amazed, but it would be a damn good showing. Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. Well, some of the early rolls. Oh, crap. I'm trying to get the car back over without snapping the wheel off when using the node grabber. Yeah, well, some of the earlier engine cooldown brakes, or so the early stop brakes were useful for cooling the engine. Now it's so close to the edge. I kind of want all the momentum just to keep the damn thing going that little bit further. I'm not sure we're going to make Radiator Springs here. Oh, we did, but only just. We are literally just taking a jump and then a roll, then a jump and then a roll, and then we got to flick the car back over. I can't believe the engine's still alive after all of this. I think we have gone further than the 200BX drift car. Can we get it around the hairpin? That is the next question. It's still got enough steering. When is this car going to die? Is it ever going to die? Maybe it will keep going. No, it's not going to go forever. A wheel is going to fall off at some point, or bend at some point, more than it already is, to the point where we can't drive around the course. The engine surely will overheat eventually, but I can't believe it's not gone yet. We can turn okay to the left. It's corners to the right, I fear, we might have problems with. Well, I say in the very near future. If we get to any right-hand corners before the engine overheats. I mean, the next one is after the start-finish line, so it'll be onto its 4th lap. It would have to be for the ballerina to have to tackle a right-hand corner. Aside from kind of right-hand corrections down here, yeah, and even then, car, we do need to turn left. I was saying that it was likely to be right-handers that are a problem, but apparently all corners are a problem. Oh, come on, get in a straight line. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Front left's gone. Front left has completely gone, completely flailing. I can't get that back on the track, I don't think, even with a bit of speed. Oh, with a little bit of speed we can. Aha! We got it back on the course. We have all the conrods are gone. Now comes the big question: what is going to go first? Oh, it is going to be the engine before the steering, but only just. Only just before I say before the steering wheel, one wheel's gone. That was a great showing. That was a very, very good showing from the ballerina here to have made it so far. It was so broken for so long as well. That's yeah, that's some good going. Couldn't quite make it onto a 4th lap, but nevertheless, that is quite the show from our 200BX. And finally today, we have got a H-Series box van, although not a completely normal one. I wanted a little bit more van-y speed, so I've stuck a Stage 2 supercharger on the engine. You know, for some half-decent acceleration, and we're going to see how it goes. The heavyweight vehicles tend not to fare particularly well around here, because they are, well, so heavy. There is so much mass going across the jumps and landing the jumps. The shock that goes through the chassis tends to break drive lines. Pretty quickly as well. Now, I don't quite know how we're going to fare with the H-Series here. We had the ambulance go round, and that's probably the closest to the box van, but not quite. So, yeah, we will see if this can match the ambulance's pace. I think this is a little bit heavier, even with the supercharger. It's a little bit heavier, so it's likely to get into a little bit more trouble. It might be slightly faster, however, there's a bit more weight to go into the impacts, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Definitely not a good thing. In fact, I don't know if the suspension's any stronger on this, well, it's very bouncy apparently. We've got a lot of wheelies going on from our truck, which is It's spectacular. Spectacular. And at that particular point on the road, it didn't particularly matter. You know, no harm done really with the truck. Oh, please be fast enough to get across there. Maybe not like that though. Oh dear, we're in trouble. Radiator's gone. Now, I think one of the positives, perhaps, with having a box on the top is that in some of these rollover crashes, the box might take some of the force, it might take some of the energy out of the crash. You know, it will go into deforming the box rather than my actual truck. And that's good news. Oh, we've lost steering. Steering's gone. Steering's... Oh, what on earth has happened to my steering? It's just all snapped off in one... Oh, no, it's very odd. We've kind of got like some vague steering going on. Either we've got incredibly lucky. I think we have just got incredibly lucky. Nope, I can't do anything. Can't do anything. Steering's gone. Oh, what is gone on with the steering? Like, I let go of the steering and it kind of fixed stuff. There is something orbiting around my... Oh, that's peculiar. Yeah, I don't know what on earth it is. That it's something is. You can kind of see it spinning there as I'm wiggling the analog stick. I'm holding it to the left. It's now spinning faster. Well, we didn't really get to see the truck fall apart. Something in the front. I mean, we had a roll. It was a fairly hefty roll, but if it's not going to be able to survive any of that, then it's never going to last long at the Baja circuit. The weirdest thing is that gave up when cornering normally. That didn't give up on the landing. It didn't snap when we hit the landing. We'd rolled it over and then we set off, and that's when it went. Something died in that steering big time. I mean, the box part stayed relatively in one piece. I mean, from that angle there, it looks fine. Well, okay, we've got smashed taillights. No, not from that angle. That angle, it looks the neatest. Yeah, steering. I think perhaps too much weight on this one, on any impact, would be enough to take that steering out. Whatever it is, there's a weak link obviously somewhere in amongst that steering that, yeah, just can't deal with the impacts around this circuit. So, on to our results table, and we have a new entry into the top 10, the 200 BX Ballerina, managing to make its way into 8th place with that overheating engine. Admittedly, though, yeah, the steering had died pretty much at the same time, so if the engine hadn't given up, it would have only been about 10 seconds down the road when the steering would have killed it. But it did certainly keep on going. I mean, it beats both of the SBR4s, beats the standard Caldera, and so on, a pair of Grand Marshals as well. The Sunstrip would go into 15th place. Again, another pretty damn impressive performance. It is only fractionally behind those two Grand Marshals. It beats the H15 Off-Roader. So, yeah, the Sunstrip could certainly take a fair old beating. I mean, the wheels again on that were pretty buckled, and I don't know if it would have steered much when the engine gave way as well. We do have to go much further down the table to find the box van. In fact, it is second last in 87th place with that steering failure. It does go fractionally further than the cement mixer. The cement mixer driveshaft snapped on the way up that hill. The box van, it was a very weird failure. Had the steering snapped immediately from the crash, it would have been last, but it kind of got around the corner and then snapped, which meant it was pointing just about in a straight enough line to get to the top of the hill before it then, yeah, couldn't be driven anymore. So, very, very close between those pair at the bottom. Weird steering failure, though, on that one. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods I've used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.